Residents along the Nueces River need to be on the lookout for flooding. Uvalde County is beginning to document damage from flooding last week, and the Texas State Aquarium celebrates Shark Week. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. I'm Spencer Chiak, and this is South Texas Midday. While South Texas didn't get the rain that other areas in the state received, those same waters flowing down the Nueces River could affect local communities. KEDT's Gonzalez has the details.
With recent heavy rains that led to flooding in the Uvalde area and the Hill Country, that same water will be flowing via the Nueces and Frio rivers, which means residents who live along the Nueces River in the coastal bend could be facing the threat of flooding as well. The Texas Division of Emergency Management has issued a warning for residents in South Texas communities along the Nueces River and should prepare before conditions become worse. Floodwaters from the Nueces River could rise above its banks and onto roads, which could be underwater for days. Officials say some communities could also be isolated for days if roads are underwater and impassable. Meanwhile, it's up to local officials to close roads as well as issue evacuation orders should flooding conditions persist. Residents who live near the Nueces River should also do their part by staying informed about the possibility of flooding. I'm Gonzalez for KEDT News.
Meanwhile, Uvalde County is beginning the long process of documenting damage and seeking reimbursement after this month's flooding. Texas Public Radio's Corey Cook reports.
County commissioners approved creating a temporary flood assessment coordinator position to document damage to roads and low water crossings and help secure reimbursement from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Residents also urged officials to move faster on recovery efforts. Lori McDonald has lived in the Deer Valley subdivision of Uvalde for 36 years and says neighbors had to restore access themselves.
Do you know that we were in there for over a week and not one person came to help fix the road? You know who did? The Uvalde Deer Valley residents came together with their tractors, their skid steers, and we fixed the roads to get in and out.
A county debris removal plan remains on hold while officials await additional guidance from FEMA and the Texas Division of Emergency Management. I'm Corey Cook in San Antonio.
Texas has a lot at stake in the renegotiation of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA. Mexico and Canada are, respectively, the U.S. and Texas's number 1 and number 2 trading partners. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider reports that uncertainty over the trade agreement's future is looming over thousands of jobs in the state and U.S. competitiveness in the world as a whole.
Air Tractor Incorporated, based in the small North Texas city of Olney, makes aircraft for farming and aerial firefighting. Jim Hirsch is the company's president and CEO.
Our engines that come from Pratt & Whitney in Canada potentially could be subject to a 25% tariff.
USMCA means Air Tractor can import engines from Canada without paying that tariff. The engines in the company's aircraft account for approximately half their plane's value. So when President Trump publicly said the U.S. would be better off without USMCA, Hirsch was understandably concerned. Since July 1st, when the Trump administration announced it would not renew the USMCA, the U.S. has held 3 rounds of trade talks with Mexico, but none with Canada.
The problem is not for Washington or Mexico City or Ottawa.
Tony Payan studies U.S.-Mexico relations at Rice University's Baker Institute.
The problem is for businesses because a lot of these companies, they have to plan ahead 5, 10 years, and now they have to learn to live with the uncertainty of investments that may not be covered by the agreement whenever that is ratified, if at all.
Texas' main exports to Mexico and Canada are oil and natural gas products, but its manufacturing, particularly of vehicles, depends heavily on parts imported from both countries. Collectively, Texas trade with these partners amounts to more than 12% of the state's economy. Payan says Trump is likely pushing for maximum leverage rather than aiming to kill the USMCA. Among other goals, he wants to bring more manufacturing back to the U.S. That's had some success. Toyota recently announced it was shifting 2,000 jobs from Tijuana to San Antonio. But that's the exception, not the rule. Jerry Pacheco, president of the Border Industrial Association, has been trying to lure manufacturing to the so-called Borderplex, a triangle linking South New Mexico, West Texas, and the Mexican state of Chihuahua.
We recruited an auto manufacturer, a component manufacturer from Taiwan, bought 30 acres to do a campus to supply Tesla with some components. And they have not pulled the trigger.
Investment in new manufacturing and warehousing space is at a standstill on both sides of the border, according to El Paso commercial real estate firm Cushman & Wakefield, Pyrus. Texas and Mexico's economies have been historically integrated, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't suffer if the USMCA dies. That's even more the case with Texas ties with Canada. Jim Hirsch of Air Tractors says that if the 25% tariff on aircraft engines from Canada returns, he'll have to raise the price of his aircraft by 12%.
We know the order book would just decline sharply. We don't know how sharply, but we know it would be significant. Whether we could survive it or not quite sure.
The company employs more than 400 people across North Texas. Those jobs and many more hang in the balance. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
The Dallas Theater Center and AT&T Performing Arts Center will combine operations in early 2027. The theater was founded in 1959 and is the city's largest theater company. KERA's Marquita Fornoff says financial losses and shrinking audiences are to blame.
Warren Trenquata is the president and CEO of the AT&T Performing Arts Center. He says audiences won't notice a difference to the merger initially.
But over time, what audiences will find is a much more integrated program that mixes nationally touring artists with locally produced content to give customers more choice and a more coordinated schedule so that audiences can really choose the type of artistic experience they're looking from in the theater world.
The theater center lost $2.2 million, according to 2025 tax filings. The merger includes layoffs. Up to 12% of the combined staffs could be cut. For KERA News, I'm Marquita Fornoff in Dallas.
This story was shared via Arts Access, an arts journalism collaboration between KERA and the Dallas Morning News. Finally, the Texas State Aquarium is celebrating Discovery Channel's Shark Week tomorrow with the Harte Research Institute. Beginning at 11:30, visitors can learn from the Harte Research Institute's Dr. Kesley Banks about sharks as a part of the Let's Talk Sharks series. She spoke about what she hopes people take away when they visit the aquarium.
I really hope people get to experience sharks the way that most shark scientists do. So just watching them move is extraordinary, and to know that they have been around on the planet for over 400 million years and are still here is just something that, without seeing them, you can't comprehend.
Tomorrow, learn about the shark feeding process at the Texas State Aquarium here on KEDT and KVRT. This has been South Texas Midday. I'm Spencer Chiak. Your community arts calendar and more is on its way next.